At one point in time this year, my family and I made a visit to a place called the Fun Spot in New Hampshire, which houses one of the largest arcade game collections in the world. They've got everything. They've got the classics, they've got pinball machines. My mom had a blast spending her time playing Tetris.
Oh, they came down.
My dad and I spent our time playing Arkanoid, mainly because it's impossible to do well in this game, which makes it fun to play 2-player mode. We played this game for a while, and to my surprise, I actually made it to level 4 a couple of times, and even managed to get a high score, though I didn't beat the computer's 50,000. Staying Alive. Now that's an appropriate song for an arcade place. But looking at the arcade machines, I noticed Dig Dug, which I've played many a times in my life, but looking at the art, I had this moment of realization like, wait, Dig Dug's a human? I always thought he was some sort of animal creature, so I thought it'd be fun to draw what I thought Dig Dug was, and take you all along the process with me. Let's take that Dig Dug sprite and level it up.
Level 4.
It's the Lily Factor! Ding! Before I started with anything, I wanted to draw the pixel sprite for the first Dig Dug and draw my interpretations of that, though I mainly wanted to focus on what I actually thought the second version of Dig Dug was in the sequel. So following that, I will be doing the drawings of the second Dig Dug sprite and what I thought this character actually was. But enough voiceover, let the real-time process begin. Kind of weird trying to draw pixel art without like actually using pixels to do so. Never actually like done pixel art per se. And technically drawing in Procreate is pixel art per se, but with a very high pixel count, so nothing very small and squared off like this. Okay, so he's got a little dynamite stick, I guess is what that is. So basically it's made up of, what, 4 different colors here? We got white, blue, points to white region, white, blue, black, and red. Seriously though, this looks like a sheep with like a stick of dynamite. Can't forget the eyes. Otherwise it would be a soulless sheep. Bah. So how would I interpret this if we suddenly increased the pixel count? And I almost feel like too, it almost looks more like a trench coat and a hat. So give it the some of those classic eye styles where it's just like the black beady eye with the little white highlight. To me, it almost looks like an anthropomorphic sheep. So it like can walk on its own 2 feet. Like I actually have a better idea of how I interpreted Dig Dug 2 with the higher pixel count. Whereas this one, the vision of what this character is a little more vague. Some goat legs. I don't know. This is gonna be really funny looking. Would it be wrong if I turned this instead of like a dynamite detonator into like a pogo stick? I don't know why. I think that would be just far superior. So that's what I'm going to do. Dig Dug, interpreted as a anthropomorphic sheep on a pogo stick. Does he look like he would take out dragons and beach balls with goggles? Don't know how to describe the pukas. Okay, I'm gonna do like one more variation of it here, and I think I'm just gonna like not acknowledge this and just kind of go off memory here of kind of how I interpret it. We can make it kind of cute. I don't know. We can, but will we? That is the question. That's a sentence. I don't know what came out of me. If it could be like more of a hard hat. Not that that's what I'm drawing. Goat legs. I keep saying sheep, but now I'm saying goat. So those are some interpretations. Now let's go for Dig Dug 2, which I have a better idea of what I thought this character was versus what the character actually is. Let's hope that I gave myself enough room here. I don't think I did, so I'm gonna move it over. I feel like I keep messing that up where I'm like, I'm gonna draw something next to a drawing I already did, and hopefully I'll have room for their giant poofy dress or wings or whatever it's gonna be that would take up a lot of space on the side, and it always ends up encroaching on the other drawing, and I hate that. I think I put way less effort into the second one. They show various different angles of this character, and so whenever I saw this character, I had a very funny vision of what this character was. Giving him Pac-Man eyes here. I'm just kidding. Sort of. But I think it's the same company, or at least they ended up being purchased by the same companies. I don't know. Now on to how I interpreted this. This one's actually much weirder than how I would interpret the first version of Dig Dug, because I had no idea. I mean, I just did not know that this character was a human carrying, I guess, dynamite? I don't know. So I always thought it was like a little goat or sheep character with, like, I don't know, some sort of blowing up device thing attached to its rear end. I know, that sounds weird, but that's kind of what I thought it was. But yeah, I thought it was like a stinger of some sort, kind of like a bee. I want to state for the record that as of right now, it's still not going as I pictured. Even though these are kind of some fun, goofy little designs. Let me just... I freed you, eraser. Now let's... I can't resist. This foot is broken and I must fix it. Chiropractors across the world will be thanking me for this move. Alright. Booyah! There we go. Much better. Much better. But if there's anything I've learned about when things aren't going your way, like in terms of art, or it's not going as you envisioned, what you gotta count though is you're also drawing things that you can't even picture yourself. Like, this stuff isn't quite what's in my head as I'm trying to sketch out somewhat what I've imagined. But what's the benefit to that is that you're coming up with new ideas in that sense. And also, stylization doesn't just come immediately. You constantly have to work to refine things to get the vision that's in your head. So to me, I interpret it as I gotta do a little more drawing to get what's in my head. And that it's better that way. I mean, how much fun would it be if I just sat down and drew instantly what I had envisioned? And how discouraging would that be for other artists where I'm like, ta-da, perfection, I got exactly what I thought from the first try. That's just not how it works. Sometimes you gotta go through a lot of bad art to get to the really good stuff. And it just makes for a better story at the end of the day. Okay, now we're gonna try adding a little more detail here. Making it, I don't know, something more intentional, deliberate. You're all just gonna have to bear with me here. If anything, it could give you a good laugh, right? That's all we need, right? Just some good old laughter. I kind of want it to be cute. I feel like it should have ears. Officially looks like I am designing some sort of weird hybrid to all kinds of video game franchises that I dare not name. And then maybe that leg should come out too, like this. It'll be cuter this way. Where's that eraser? This is a luxury. I forgot how much I missed being able to erase things. I still feel like it does need a helmet of sorts, but maybe it could be like a hat kind of thing, comboed with the ears and the little poofy fro. Okay, now it looks like a weird goat hybrid wearing a sun visor. Okay, you know what? I don't even like that, so I actually scribbled it out, I know. I broke my own rule. I feel like this is closest to kind of how I pictured it, so I'm gonna elaborate on that. It's like becoming a rabbit sheep combo, but I kind of like it that way. Simplify these shapes. And let's square. I know I wanted it rounded, but I think it would be fun to square it off, give it more of our Dig Dug stylization here. Oh man. This is either going to be really cute or haunt the nightmares of many viewers. Let's make its feet nice and big. Because sometimes the bigger the feet, the cuter it is. Why is this like disturbing and cute at the same time? This is actually really fun. One thing I don't like about this pencil, the lead breaks way too easily. I wasn't even pressing that hard. And now I don't know where the lead went, you know? I got some broken piece of lead sitting somewhere where I don't want it to sit. It's amazing how you just add more and more lines over something and then it just looks better. You know, because it's not like I'm really like changing that much. I'm just going over things, hardening some lines, adding a little bit of shading here and there. But it just refines things a lot better. It's just one of those things. Yeah, I'm really liking this little guy. This is probably a lot closer to how I pictured Dig Dug. What I thought he actually looked like. Not knowing it was a human character wearing a helmet. Yeah, because I primarily wanted to do Dig Dug 2 here because I had like a big idea of how I thought this character looked. Whereas this one, it was just me interpreting it more a little now, comboed with what I pictured the second Dig Dug to look like. Because I'm a little biased. I like Dig Dug 2 better, but that's mainly because I played it more growing up than I ever got to with Dig Dug 1. This usually works. Got it! Was it worth the effort? Probably not. But I did it nonetheless. Color around those eyes, since they're very close to this shade of blue and I want to still remember where they are. This is actually really fun, and what I love about it is this character design is so simple. It has like really great color scheme. I mean, we're talking about some popular primaries here. Alright, added some hatching. I'm not really a cross-hatching type of gal. I don't know why, it just seems like faster to just hatch away at it. Hatching is shading by drawing straight lines over and over and over again, which is kind of my process, because as you can see, I've got muscle memory. My wrist just knows how to shake like that. Cross-hatching would be adding another slanted line and going over it, which I'm not going to do because that's gonna go against what I was trying to do. So we've got Dig Dug 1, Dig Dug 2. They upgraded the sheep. Oh man, this is funny. This is not looking as polished because we've got that big circle in the way. Darn circles! What good are you for, other than the foundation of every art drawing ever? I bet you didn't know I could talk like that. I can do all kinds of crazy voices, just don't ask me to. Alright, so I broke my own rule when I scribbled out that drawing, but now I have remorse. So I'm getting out the big guns. Doesn't this thing look like it had some sort of disease or something? Anyway. Anyways. I'm going to use this scribble as the foundation of my sketch. Oh, hang on, let's bring this up. Let's bring the arrow over here. I think I'm just gonna leave that sketch be, but see, you can't scribble out art even when you get frustrated. Yeah. I tell you, it's changed so much for me when it comes to making art videos, because if I were doing this like 2 years ago, I probably would have stopped with that drawing. I would have just stopped right there, and I would have quit on this video. Because when things don't go... at the time, things don't go my way right away, I just get frustrated and then it like puts me in this really bad mood. And it just, I don't want to draw anymore. And yeah, because there's like that pressure, you know, you're drawing and people on social media are gonna see it and want to make sure it's good. And if it's not the perfect idea you envisioned from the get-go, then it's just like, why do I even bother? So then you stop. And no one gets to see goofy little things like this, right? I remember one time on a really random day, I checked out a book on writing names in Arabic of all things. But then it made me realize that like using a chisel nib is really good for writing calligraphy and stuff. I know, I should have just known that in general. I don't know why it took me a Arabic book to figure that out. But I also figured out that if you just use the side of the chisel nib, then you can draw perfect squares or diamonds, depending on what angle you're doing it. Let's see, you can do a little diamond there. And it makes for perfect squared off art, which is perfect for giving a little pixel texture. If you're drawing pixel characters, see what I'm doing here? This is how we have fun. You can do all kinds of, whoa. I was trying to pull the cap off. I don't know what just happened. Is this it? Is this just broken? Did I kill this marker? Okay, so I'm not gonna use the blue to chisel them. But I can draw squares, thankfully. That's a gift of mine. Not everyone can draw a square. I'm kidding, everyone can draw a square. And if you're one of those artists that says I can't draw a perfect circle, stop making excuses for yourself. No one can draw a perfect circle. That's why we have, they're not called protractors. What are they called? Or are they called protractors? I don't know. Those little devices they make you use in math class to draw perfect circles. Okay? So if we have those tools, then that's just proof that no one can draw a perfect circle. So stop beating yourself up, okay? We're not judging you. Artist community can totally understand your disdain for circles. We all have our struggles, and circles is a mutual one. Still can't believe I broke that marker. I don't know my own strength. Maybe the lead isn't sensitive. Maybe I'm just brutishly strong. I feel like as an artist, it's actually it was really inspiring to go to the fun spot, just like from an artist perspective, and see a lot of the classic art styles portrayed on the sides of these machines. We're gonna draw our little, what he actually looks like. With some interpretation, of course, because I don't know if I really want to copy it to a T. But at the same time, I do want to take elements of it, because it's got that fun, classic style to it. So we've got like a big line there. It's very angular. I'm looking at the art on the side of the arcade machine. This is for Dig Dug 1. But looking at it, the way they did it, I can't help but wonder if this is vector art. I've just learned about it. Like, I knew the term, but I didn't really know what that entailed. But upon learning it, it's made me more aware of what it is. So it makes me start to pay attention, like, and think about, could this be vector art? Because another thing too is it's like the line width is really wide and squared off, and they don't connect the lines. It's kind of interesting. He does have a turtleneck. Love it. So I got that right. Yay me. Well, those are not, that's not how you draw a guy. That is definitely not it, my friends. That's the best advice I can give you. Don't do this. I'm doing some interpretation here. I'm just looking at the reference photo for the stylization. And then I'm just gonna take my own interpretations here. Now that I'm looking at it, oh my gosh. There's nothing rounded off in this design. Everything is angled. That's why like the lines did cut off, because they can't do a curve. I wonder why they did that. If it was like a choice, or if it was a technological thing, like they literally could not do it any other way than this because of what they were using. It makes you wonder. And then I'm just gonna make his feet really wide at the bottom. We're going for some retro looks here. Slide this up. And he's just got boots. This is actually going to be an interesting change for me. I'm used to drawing very rounded, as you can see. So now what I can do is I can take my big old 8mm liner and then go to town with this line variation. It's very squared off. Even his eyes are square. Because it would make sense if they did this as a choice, because we're talking arcade style, so everything's made up of pixels, so they're all going to be squared off. But at the same time, I would believe that they were using some sort of line brush tool here that was only working with square. Thinking about how they did the logo, there's a commitment to this very angular, squared off style, because even there's no rounded shapes even in the logo for this game. Let's add some color here. Hope this marker doesn't smear the line art. He also has a big like white outline around him, but I am not gonna do that. That would take me a while. Doing this now, it makes me want to take what I initially thought he looked like and try to give it this stylization. Instead of having a rounded head, it could be more square. Same for the eyes, square eyes, that. And the ears are square, and have these lines coming out more and doing that angle thing that they were doing with the head to keep it somewhat round while still being very angular. And there we have it, folks. What I thought Dig Dug actually was. Let's make that point nice and clear. And there you have it, folks. The process of me trying to figure out how to visually communicate what I thought Dig Dug actually looked like and what kind of creature he actually was in my eyes. So thank you for coming along the process of just a fun little doodle session, just trying to draw what I envisioned. I hope you enjoyed, and if you didn't realize Dig Dug was a human either, then let me know what you thought he was. So thank you for watching, and may God bless you in your life and your art. Bye!